So this is Asmongold, and in this video, he is discussing how he didn't shower for over a month and what that experience was like. I think the longest I've gone without a shower is 1 week. 1 week, and really not even a full week, like a 5-day week. So I used to go to Jesus camp back in the day when I still went to church. Every summer the church would have like a youth group retreat, not uncommon for churches to do. I live right by the Wisconsin border, so we drive up to Wisconsin. They have a lake there. We rent out the cabins there. The girls get the really nice ones. The dudes get the shacks. It is what it is. And during these retreats, I would refuse to shower the entire week because it was a hassle. Like I said a moment ago, the girls got the good facilities, so they got showers like right in their cabins. And like I said, the boys, we got basically, they were basically just shacks, just full of bunk beds. Barely even good bunk beds, concrete floors, and then maybe an AC unit if you were lucky. But we had to go out to the public restroom to shower, which is where the showers were also, and it was sucky, it was gross, it was nasty, and I didn't like it. I preferred not showering and feeling gross over the hassle of dealing with the process of grabbing all my soaps and grabbing a towel and a change of clothes and then going to the shower, and then the floor's all gross because it's concrete, and then you have to find a place to set your clothes and find a place to set your towel, and then there's people walking in and out, and then maybe someone left a poopy in one of the toilets, so it also smelled bad in there, which was unfortunately a lot more common than I wish it was. So I think I showered exactly once during the 4 or 5 times that I went there. I showered once, maybe the first time I went, and then said never again. So my longest time was 5 days, and it wasn't a terrible experience. It was a camp out. It was a wilderness retreat. I think just about everyone was getting a little bit smelly. So your musk would kind of blend in with everyone else. It wasn't that big of a deal. I can't imagine going a full month without a shower.
It's actually really simple. There's a squirrel. Hey guys, it's me again, and last night I ended what happened to be the longest streak that I've ever had of not taking a shower.
Hold on. Is that a mole, or did he pick at that? Because if that's a mole, we might have matching moles. Hold on. Because I got one. Where is it? Did I lose the mole? Is it gone? Well, it's hard to tell. Wait, is it on this side? Oh, yeah, there. All right, so he's got maybe a mole there, or maybe just a spot he picked at. There's a couple moles there. We might have a matching mole. I might have a matching mole with Asmongold. That's sick. Me and Asmongold, mole brothers. That's awesome.
Taking a shower about a month and a half, and I made
month and a half. Wow.
And I said that I hadn't showered in a month. There were a lot of people who I suppose weren't real viewers of mine, thought that I was lying, and a lot of my real viewers said that it was a good start. And with the amount of people that I had talking about this, I thought to myself, you know what, that'd make a really good video. And I'm going to sit down and I'm going to share with you guys my experiences of not taking a shower for an entire month, or over an entire month, and kind of what the thought was behind it and everything that went into it and how it felt. Now, the first thing I want to say is that there are a lot of you guys out there. You've got real jobs, you've got people that you have to see daily, maybe you have a girlfriend, maybe you have a wife, maybe you have to go out and interface with society. Well, luckily for you.
So I think the need to shower and bathe directly correlates to population. These days, it's like if you don't shower every day, you kind of get looked down upon. You know, every other day at worst. But if you go any longer than that, I feel like society looks down upon you. But I mean, thinking back about 100 years ago, showers were barely even a thing. Bathing was much more common. But as society has developed, and as a population has grown, and as cities have developed and have grown, more and more people have been condensed into areas. I think the cleanliness expectation has grown, which makes perfect sense. So, I mean, if you're not going out into society, if you don't got to interface with society, you've got a huge advantage in not needing to shower, which is what he has here.
I am not tethered by those earthly desires, and I'm able to dredge and delve into the depths of depravity and experience them for you. And I'd like to share that experience with you all today. Now, the first thing that I think a lot of people ask whenever I talk about this is why? Why do you do that? And it's actually very simple. It's because I was doing...
Because showering is hard. I think it gets even harder when you have longer hair. Now, he doesn't have long hair here. I know he's grown it out over the years, but I've found that sometimes I just don't want to deal with the hassle of showering, even at home. Like, forget the whole story about youth Jesus camp. Even when I'm at home, I'm like, I gotta like wash my hair. Even after the shower, I have to deal with putting products in my hair. And then it takes a long time to dry. Sometimes I don't even hit it with the hair dryer. Today I didn't hit it with the hair dryer. I just let it air dry, which is kind of gross. It's just a hassle I don't want to deal with, especially with having long hair. I think showering would be much easier if I had shorter hair. But I understand why people wouldn't want to shower. It's a hassle.
Something else, playing video games. I was laying in bed. Why would I do something that I don't have to do? There were a number of reasons why I take showers. I think one of the big reasons is so I don't look bald whenever I'm streaming, but I'm not streaming right now, so I'm pretty much good.
Yeah, I take showers because I don't like smelling bad or feeling gross, and it also helps clean up the frizz in my hair. If I go too long, I mean, every single day I wake up, hair's poofy and frizzy and messy. I can kind of mitigate this by putting it in a bun or a ponytail to make it less noticeable. But ultimately, the best thing to do for that is to shower.
Now, the reason I broke this streak, as you guys can see, my hair is, well, I still
nice little
look
reset.
bald, but this is about as good as it gets. Nowadays, at least. And
honestly, he doesn't even look that bald.
Somewhere today, but apparently I don't have to be there. So I pretty much showered for nothing, and I ruined, what turned out to be.
Given this might just be a good camera angle.
So as time went on, and this is something that people would kind of expect, that you would just get dirtier and dirtier and dirtier as time went on. But the reality is that about 10 days in, after you haven't showered for about 10 days, you pretty much stop getting dirty. And I want to preface this by saying I don't really sweat hardly at all.
So I don't think he's necessarily denying this. I don't think he's saying that you completely stop getting dirty, but I think it's more of... So it's not like you just get dirty and dirtier, day 10, flat line, right? All right, that's not a perfectly flat line. Here, I learned a little trick. Did I learn a little trick? No, I didn't. Wait, how does... God, what am I doing? Hold on. Is it... I thought I learned a trick on how to straighten it. I did not. But, it's not like you get dirtier, day 10, flat line, right? Like a lot of things, you kind of get one of these graphs, right? Where it's slowly flattening. You never truly flatten, but as time goes on, it's just harder to get dirtier. You're already at a point where you have so much filth on you, it's harder for the extra filth to stick to you.
I drink a lot of soda. I drink water too a lot, and I always have a drink near me, and so I don't really feel like I'm dehydrated. I'm just not really the kind of person that sweats a whole lot. So because I'm not sweating all the time, I don't really create a lot of dirt, a lot of grime and gross stuff on me. For example, like
That's
if
true.
I'm
If you
wearing
don't really
shirt
go
for
out,
a week or so, it's going to be
you don't need a shower every day.
less disgusting than if somebody who sweats a lot would wear the same shirt for a week or so. But I'm sure
it's not like he's out on the pasture.
Regardless, the point that I'm trying to make here is that I don't sweat a lot, and that's probably why it's possible for me to kind of do this.
He's not out on the pasture
Also,
tending to his fields.
I want to say that about 10 days or so into not
caring
showering,
for his farm animals,
you kind of hit a plateau. So like you have the time, and it's like, the things are getting dirtier, you're getting dirtier, and it starts to plateau or so around, I'd say day 8 to
basically
11
what
or
I
so,
just explained.
about day 8 to 11, it starts to
So
plateau.
we're on the same page here.
And at that point, you stop really getting any more dirty. And so whenever you get to that point, if you reach that break point, you get to a point where it's like, well, if I don't shower, nothing changes. So if you do shower, obviously you might feel better or whatever. I don't. I feel great all the time. Honestly, I feel almost like a like in Pokemon where they had like Geodude, and Geodude would evolve into Graveler, and then Graveler would evolve into Golem if you traded Graveler to another game.
Thank you, Jeremy.
So I actually had 2 games.
An earth-shattering $1.50. That's 1.5 Earth shattered.
Besides that, what I mean is that I feel like I'm an Earth Pokemon evolving. I feel like I'm building stacks of my Earth Shield. I am a true shaman. I am building momentum. I'm becoming more powerful. I'm gaining.
I will say during the first, was it maybe the second time that I went to Jesus camp and didn't shower for the entire week, I noticed that. So when I was younger in middle school and high school, I had fairly bad acne. Not the worst acne, but I had acne. My skin is much better now. I think if you went back to even some of my earlier videos where I'm fresh out of high school, my acne was a little worse even then. But going back to late middle school, early high school, I had fairly bad acne. And so one of my biggest worries about not showering during those weeks was that my acne would get a lot worse. My face would get all crusty, and my face gets oily pretty easily, so I was worried about like a bunch of oil buildup. But interestingly enough, I noticed that over the course of the week, not showering, not washing my face, not doing anything, my acne did not get worse. In fact, it got better. It didn't completely clear up, but it cleared up ever so slightly, and my face wasn't that grimy. I couldn't tell you what it is, the science, or how that happens, but that was my experience.
Gaining stacks of the Earth Shield, and I don't ever really feel dirty. I don't. It might sound odd, but I don't really feel dirty, and I unfortunately
feel dirty
because they touch my phone all the time. But other than that,
I feel dirty if I don't shower for a couple days.
And I don't really ever think about it a whole lot or worry about it, and it's kind of weird to me that I don't really know how I got this way. I used to have 2 designated showering days a week. I had Thursdays and Sundays were my designated showering days, because those were the days that I would have dinner with my dad. And back whenever I started this schedule, we were too poor to afford hot water, so I'd take a shower over at his house. So this kind of I kind of just carried this tradition on for an indefinite period of time. And I had the designated.
So, little side quest here. In the Philippines, I think proper showers are more common now. But the last time I visited, they still weren't super common. And the way you would shower is you would have a bucket of water with you. You would like rinse yourself first while also collecting water in the bucket. And then you would use the water in the bucket. You would have a little scoop, and you would just scoop up that water and pour it over yourself, and kind of like wash yourself in the process. Scoop up some more water, pour it over yourself as you're rinsing off. I I'm I don't know how common that still is. It's been a while since I visited, but that was how I showered the last time I visited the Philippines. And the water was never hot. It was always cold water, or at the very best, lukewarm.
Showering days of Thursday and Sunday that were way past whenever we got hot water turned back on at my house, and I just kind of did this out of habit. And later on, I got a girlfriend, which is, as much of a surprise to you as it was to probably me as well. I guess my parents were just happy that I was doing something. But regardless, I got a girlfriend, and she was not particularly happy with this designated showering days thing, and she pretty much insisted that I move it up to about 3 or so, and that was.
I think
that was a lot of work.
I think 3 is reasonable.
Change your clothes after you shower. That means you gotta do laundry. If you gotta do laundry, that means you gotta pick the clothes up off the floor. It's a lot of work. You gotta deal with it. And I've been on the schedule of basically for the past like 6 months or so. I think I said this in my last video. I don't know if I did or not. I would just every month or so go to Target and buy a new pair of sweatpants. And I've been doing this for about 6 months now. So that's about 5 pairs of sweatpants that I've been wearing over the past 6 months. So I haven't really been doing a lot of laundry. That's really what I'm trying to say. And what's happened with that is that, I had to shower regularly and deal with that. It was too much like being a normal person. And I don't really know what's wrong with me. I don't really think there's anything wrong with me. Hardly. But I'm not a normal person. And it felt weird to do that. It felt weird to be it feels weird to be a normal person. It feels good to be me. And I don't think anybody should be me. Only I can be me, and I'm fine with that. But I am me. And so, ironically, that girlfriend suggested that I could use dry shampoo because my hair gets very greasy. I'm a very greasy boy. And the funny thing about that is that I would use dry shampoo and I would rationalize my hair looking good, because that's why really the reason I would shower is so my hair would look good on stream. And if I use dry shampoo, I don't actually have to use real shampoo. So it actually kind of worked again.
I'm sorry, these headphones keep cutting out. How crazy is that? You try to create a solution to the problem only to make the problem worse. There's an old folktale, not really a folktale, kind of history lesson, but not for sure if this actually happened. But basically, in India, when they were still, I guess, occupied by the British, I'm not too familiar with the history of the country. I've just read this story before, so I'm retelling it. They had a huge python problem. All right, you're just walking around, pythons everywhere. You don't want to deal with snakes when you're just going about your day. And there were a lot of snakes. It was a real issue. So the government stepped in and they decided to put a bounty on these pythons. You bring in some pythons. They give you money for each python, and you know what? On paper, that seems like a good solution. You have a python infestation, pay people to hunt the pythons. Except people didn't always just hunt the pythons. Some people got smart and started breeding them. And through breeding them, the python problem simply grew to get worse and worse. A solution that seems good on paper with unintended consequences. Put a bounty on pythons, you get more pythons. Tell a man to use dry shampoo, he'll just stop showering.
It's the whole showering paradigm, and it got even worse than that. And as soon as her and I broke up, then, oh man, then I got to I got to be who I really was. You know, I got to be me. And that's whenever I kind of moved it down to maybe like once a week or once every other week or so. And then things just kind of degraded from there. And I don't really even know why. I don't even know why I'm making this video or so, but I know a lot of people have talked about this, and I'd like to kind of share the experience because for real, like, it really wasn't that bad. Like, it really, like, after about the 10th day or so, you stop getting dirty, and at that point you're just kind of chilling. And at a certain point it's like, well, you're not going to get any dirtier. And I know this might sound fucking delusional, and that's probably because it is, but I actually really think, guys, I think I started to get a little bit cleaner at about like the 3rd week and the 4th week. It was like an enzyme that's like
Okay, I'll hear him out.
secreted by your body. Once it realizes that you haven't showered for a while, it starts like a self-cleaning process. I don't know if that's scientific, probably not, but that's the way that it felt to me.
Okay.
And I genuinely felt like I looked
He's at
better.
least acknowledging it.
I was more clean on the 4th week of not showering and the 5th week of not showering than I was on the 2nd. I don't know how that happened, though. But regardless, I kind of wanted to share
I guess I
this and
experienced
talk
something
about a
similar
little
with
bit
my
where
face
I'm coming
acne.
from. A lot of people think that I'm depressed. A lot of people think that I'm upset. There's something wrong with me. Well, there is. But I'm not depressed. I'm actually very happy. Every day I wake up, I walk down to the convenience store. I bought a bag of beef jerky and a drink, and
Beef
I
jerky
feel
does sound
great
pretty good
every
right now.
single day that I wake up. I get up in the morning and I play video games, I talk to my friends, and I do whatever the fuck I want. I feel great all of the time. And it's kind
Sorry,
of
I
a
had to
weird
check on
situation
Passion. He was
because
eating.
I'm the kind of guy that likes doing whatever the fuck I want to do whenever the fuck I want to do it. And anytime that I can't do that, yeah, I do get a little bit depressed. I don't really know why. I don't really know what that is, but it's why I kind of like, I don't know if you guys know this. A number of other people definitely know this. I'm not a big fan of commitments. I'm not a very committal person, and I'm very afraid of commitments. And I like being able to do things whenever I want to do them, and so I don't like to let
Word.
people down either. So I try not to ever make them. So the truth is that I'm not really depressed or fucked up in the head, or the second part probably yes, but not depressed. I'm actually quite content. I'm quite happy. As I said, I'm 30 years old. I live with my mom. I walk to the convenience store every day. I eat fast food all the time. And eventually, doctor's probably going to tell me I've got to stop doing that. That's going to suck. But until then, we're going to do what we're going to do. And I've thought about working out a little bit more recently. But
Thought about
other
it.
than that, if I do that, then I probably
That's the
will
important
actually have
part.
to shower, because maybe I would sweat a little bit more. But the whole thing is that
I actually don't sweat a lot at the gym, at least not when I'm doing weight training. The moment we step on a treadmill, all right, the sweat starts running. But if we're just weightlifting, the heart rate doesn't really get up. It gets a little up, but I mean, my body doesn't really sweat when I'm weightlifting. But the moment we step on a treadmill or on an elliptical, it's just drenching. Even if I'm not going super fast.
if you haven't showered for a week or so, I think it's probably not going to get that much worse unless you're a really sweaty person. And as I said, I just came off over 5 weeks or so of not showering, and it was quite an experience. And the truth is, I never even really thought about it. And it's just one day I kind of just came up with the idea. I'm like, I'm going to tweet this out and tell people what's going on. And turns out a lot of people wanted to know more. So there's the video. That was pretty much what it was like. It was completely normal. Business as usual, to be honest with you. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
That was Asmongold. The story of not showering. Basically the conclusion was you can probably get away with it if you don't have to go see other people. And you know what? Fair enough. I think as long as it's not affecting other people. And in this case, it wasn't. Well, I mean, it was when he was living with other people. But I mean, like you said, the moment his girlfriend moved out, he was able to, stop showering or just set his own shower schedule and live his best life. And you know what? If it's not hurting anyone else, who am I to say that he's wrong? All right. Let's play some Chrono Trigger.